Good morning. Good morning, Susan. Yeah, it's Saturday. Here we are, end of the week. First week of August. The summer is disappearing, right? It's before you know it, it's going to be September, and so enjoy it while it lasts. Um, I think in some ways August is my favorite month of the summer because it is the end. Well, because it really is summer, right? It's the high summer. So what I don't like about June is how hot it is sometimes without really any of the good things of summer. So you don't have um, really like summer produce or um, those nice things that come, the flowers, things. Well, you have some, but that real full summertime. You're experiencing the weather of it, but you're not having any of the benefits of it yet. Yeah. So August is great for that. Really, everything is doing all its summer stuff. So that's pretty good. So we had kind of an interesting thing happen in Delaware City this weekend. There is a tall ship of some sort. I don't really know that much about it. It is a replica of the um, Santa Maria, right? One of Christopher Columbus's ships, and it is over at the marina in Delaware City. Um, it is a very big ship, and I was surprised to see it in our very small marina, but there it is, and it does not appear to be touching the bottom, so I guess it's got enough room. Um, but yeah, you can come and tour it or just look at it if you want. It costs money. I think it's like $15 to get on it, which I don't know, maybe that's a good deal if you really like to look at boats. Um, but it is pretty neat and fun to look at. Um, I don't think we've had any protesters. They apparently have uh, typically as they tour, and they do tour up and down, uh, at least up and down the East Coast. I mean, I'm not sure where else they go, but probably all over. As they tour, they apparently do have Native American protesters come to visit them, and who are, annoyed and rightly so that we're necessarily celebrating something that was pretty catastrophic for them. Um, but there you have it. It is kind of cool to look at. Um, so yeah, it's here till Sunday. I think it leaves sometime Sunday. So if you want to take a look at it, make it soon. Um, yeah, I mean, these things are. It's kind of hard to know, right, what the right thing to do is in these cases, right? There is a lot of history that is very unpleasant and difficult to reconcile with what we know now to be the correct and right things to do. So, um, yeah, I mean, I can certainly understand why someone would feel very unhappy um, about that. Um, but as it is with everything, we have to decide, what we are comfortable with. Good morning, Dora. So I hope that you guys have had a good weekend so far, and I hope you continue to as well. Fairly nice weather, it seems like. Wouldn't it be great if the whole rest of August was like this? That would be great. I don't know. I I I can hope, right? It would be good. Um, So, yeah, what should we talk about today? A little bit, just a little bit. Well, maybe we should talk about this. So now that I'm thinking about it, this idea of, um, so when we look back at history and the things that people have done, right, it's really important to think about, remember our yoga um, rules, right? Our yamas and our niyamas, but basically our yamas, right? Because that is, uh, we're looking at how people acted, how people treated one another, right, in the past, and um, the real sticking point, right? I mean, we don't seem to. Well, I shouldn't say this. There are people who don't believe that the things that were done in the past were wrong, um, unfortunately, right? But I would say most people who are thinking rationally and aren't just kind of brainwashed in some crazy way, um, they believe that yes, indeed, there were many things in our past, in our history, in other history of other people in the world that were incorrect, right? They were ways that we would not do things today. Um, Now, there may be a lot of argument about why those things took place and whether or not um, there was a reason for them at the time. But in an absolute sense, we can say no, they were wrong. They were incorrect. It is not the way we would treat one another in this day and age. Um, the problem then comes, how do we separate the good actions from the bad actions, right? Do the bad actions negate the good? This is a hard question, right? Um, I mean, because it strikes at the very core of what we know to be our society, our country, our world. Um, if you look back at the guys who wrote the Constitution and the Declaration of Independence and all that, these guys, they did not believe that people who weren't landowners should vote. They didn't believe that women had the same, essential rights as men. They didn't believe that. They believed that slaves, people of color, were not the same as white people. That they did not. They were not. They were not the same. Uh, Not just that they didn't have the same rights. They weren't even the same type of human, right? Um, these are really hard things to struggle with, to think about. How then do we take their word for for our country is based on this. They had this belief, and they build a country based on this belief. How do we look at that in a valid way? I mean, the first way we look at it is we don't pretend it didn't happen, right? We don't pretend that that's not true. We don't try to not teach our children that, right? I mean, if you were, if in your school, I know in my school, we never talked about things like this. We never talked about the Vietnam War. We mentioned it. We knew the dates of it. We knew sort of what happened, but we didn't talk about what happened to get there. We didn't talk about the Civil War in terms of a lot of the stuff that we maybe are more aware of now. Um, there was a lot of glossing over. Right? Let's not. We don't need to talk about that. And we know with yoga, we're on a search for truth. There cannot be truth when we are hiding things. There cannot be truth when we are pretending that things didn't happen. Um, so we need to know all the truth all the time, no matter how unpleasant it may be. Um, these guys weren't saints, right? Neither are we. They made mistakes. They did dumb things. They did things that were damaging and terrible because they're a product of their times. And just as we are doing things that are damaging and terrible because we are a product of our times and our own limited understanding. Um, does it mean that we'll never do anything right? No. Does it mean they never did anything right? No. But what it means is we need to sift through what is the good, what is the bad. Um, we need to understand that it's okay to celebrate the good and regret the bad. You can do both, right? It's not one or the other. Nothing in life is one or the other. Everything is gray, right? Nothing is, no one is an angel or a devil. We're just really, really imperfect human beings doing really imperfect things all the time. So never be afraid to confront the bad. Um, it's just as valid as the good. It's just as much a part of who we are as human beings. Um, when we forget that, when we start, you know, deifying the people of the past or our leaders, political leaders, religious leaders, when we start looking at them as something more than us, something more than we are, that we know ourselves to be, then we've completely missed the point, right? We've completely misunderstood what's going on here. Um, and again, we change the narrative, right? You can't have a meaningful conversation about the good and the bad of someone that is off limits, right? Someone that's up on a pedestal, and you're not, don't say a word about them, right? Well, that's not helpful at all. Um, let's talk about the good and the bad. Let's talk about you know what happened. Um, and in this way, we bring it into conversation in a way that is not so toxic, not so heavy, right? It is just what it is. We are reporting what happened, and we are moving on from there. Um, to admit your flaws and your faults is to not do them again, right? When we when we talk about the Holocaust, um, the the thing that always sticks in my mind is how the survivors of the Holocaust were so uh, intent on documenting it, in telling their story, in passing on that information, because when you stop talking about it, it becomes something that was not true. It becomes easier to forget. It becomes a figment, and it also becomes something that might repeat. The only way we don't do these things again is to learn our lesson, to talk about it, to know right from wrong, to be able to point that out without anyone trying to shut you down or cover it up. So let's seek the truth always, and don't be afraid to speak the truth always. So truth, it's a big one. All right, so let's move around a little bit, and we'll see how that goes. So sitting up tall, drop the chin, and then we're lifting, keep lifting, head drops back. Back up to center, take a breath, and then lower the head to the right. Back to the center, and then moving left. Back up. Let's extend the arms out in front. And then bring the arms behind. Squeeze the shoulders back, gaze up. Back up to your seat. Bring arms wide. Take a deep breath, and then on the exhale, we're bringing hands together. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Interlace the fingers. Lift. Gaze up. And then arms down by your side. Inhale, lift. And lower. Lift. And lower. Lift the shoulders, roll back. And roll forward. Right hand on left knee, left arm behind. Sit tall, take a deep breath, twist. And same thing, other side, twist. Tabletop. Sitting back on the heels. Coming back up, tabletop to downward dog. Let's step the feet up toward the hands. We're here in a fold. Rising up. We'll stand tall, deep breath in and out. Inhale, lift the arms. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, flat back. On the exhale, we're going to step back with the right. Drop the knee, arms up overhead. Hands down to the mat. We're stepping back to downward dog. Inhale, moving to high plank, and then lower down. Inhale, we're lifting up head and chest, and lower. Inhale, lift. Lower. Inhale, lifting up. And lower. Then we're coming up either tabletop or upward dog. Moving back, downward dog. Take a breath. Then stepping up with the right foot. Drop your knee, arms overhead. And then hands back to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift arms high. And we're back to mountain. Breath in, breath out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, stepping back with the left. Set the knee down, arms overhead. Hands down to the mat. Stepping back. Downward dog. Forward to high plank. And lower. Inhale, lifting. Lower. Inhale, lift. Lower. Once more. And lower. Inhale, moving up. Exhale, moving back. Take one more breath. Then stepping up with the left leg. Drop the knee, arms overhead. And then hands back to the mat. Step the back foot up and fold. Inhale, flat back. Exhale, fold. Inhale, lift. And we're back to mountain. Take a breath. And let's turn to the side. We'll have wide legs here. Take a deep breath. and lean forward. And just letting your body relax here. Hands to the feet or to the mat. Just let your head hang down. You could grab opposite elbows. And we're going to bring the left hand to center, right hand on your hip. Take a deep breath, lengthening through the spine, and then take that twist. Switch around. So now you've got the right hand down, left hand at the hip. Breath in and twist. Back to center. Hands at the waist. Use that strength in the legs. Lift you up. Take a breath. And then we're going to turn the toes outward a little bit and come into our goddess pose. So goalpost arms, palms facing out, and we're just lowering down. Rising back up, hands down by your side. Let's interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulders back, ease up. And then fold forward. You might bring the toes, I don't know, it feels kind of unstable to have them out. So for your fold, maybe rotate them back in so they're facing forward. Engage that strength in the legs to lift up. Breath in and breath out. If you feel at all lightheaded or dizzy after the inversions, bring hands up over your head. We're going to turn to face the end of the mat, right? In front of the mat, I guess. Right leg is out, left leg is back. Interlace the fingers behind, squeeze the shoulders back. Take a deep breath and fold. Hands can stay at the back, or you can engage. If you're engaged in the shoulders, you can lift the hands. Might have a bend in that front knee if things feel especially tight. It's okay. All right, we're going to keep the hands behind. Lift up about halfway. We're going to shift the weight into the right side. You will definitely want a little bend for this. And then we're lifting up that back leg. See how that works for you. Try to keep that gaze a little ahead of you so you're not looking straight down. It's more steadying, right? And just play around with that. If it helps to keep the arms out to the side, you can for balance. Sometimes there's a bit of a psychological barrier having them behind you like that, but it's not a bad thing to experiment with. And then just set your foot back down, and we're going to turn it around so we're facing the opposite way. This time, left leg is out, hands behind again, or maybe still, and fold. Rising up, we're shifting the weight into the left side and then lifting up that right leg. And again, if you step out of this, just try again. And see how it works for you today. And then when you're done, just set the foot back down. Back foot steps to the front, arms overhead, back to mountain. Breath in and breath out. Come on down to a seat. Soles of the feet together, sitting up tall. Take your deep breath. And then fold forward. Trying to keep that nice flat back. We're just leaning into the pose. Pulling the shoulders back. Again, if you're not sure that you've got the shoulders back, bring the arms behind you, right? That will let you know. That's the feeling you want to have, even if the arms are in front, right? Back up. Let's lift the knees. Get your hold of the feet or the toes. Lean back a little, setting it up, your balance here. And then finding extension, your extension for today. See how stable everything feels. And then setting back down. Extend the legs, take a deep breath, arms overhead. Reaching with the body, we're folding forward. Come back up. We're going to bend the knees and lower down. Take a few breaths here. Just finding that place that feels comfortable and supportive. Then we're hugging the right leg in, grabbing behind the thigh. Lowering that knee out to the side, trying to keep the rest of the body flat on the mat. Bring that knee to center, drawing it across the body, rolling up on that left hip, trying to keep the shoulders on the mat. Maybe set your gaze to the right. And moving back. Switch your legs. Hugging that left leg in. Keep breathing. Lowering out to the side. And then bringing that knee across the body. Back to center and extend both legs. Maybe bring the arms out to a T. Legs are wide. Breathe. And then let's bend the knees. Soles of the feet to the mat. We're going to do regular bridge and supported bridge. So make sure you've got a block or something like that handy. Heels are back, close to the body. Feet about hip width apart, so not too far. Hands by your side, pressing down with the hands and the feet. We're lifting up. Then lowering. Take a breath here. Then lifting up again. Find a place for your block. Resting on the block. You can move the legs wherever you want. Keep them here. Hug them in. Extend them. Lots of choices. And then lifting up. Let's rest back on the mat. Soles of the feet together. Knees apart. Maybe bring the hands down onto the belly. And we'll inhale and exhale. And then moving into Shavasana, you can extend the legs or stay where you are. Find your choice. And breathe. Being steady and relaxed. So in a yoga sense, we've spoken of this before, this idea that we are living in a dark age, the Kali Yuga. We've been here for a very long time. That in another age, things were different. People followed the yoga rules. People were kind and not harmful. Life was much more ideal. Um, and that we have fallen from that, right? We have degraded in our behavior and our society. So we're moving towards that again, hopefully, right? That's our trajectory, moving towards that better age. So it's natural for us to now, I hope, be more aware of what the goods are, right? What is good? What is proper behavior? As opposed to, times when that was not uh, the case, right? There was not as much awareness of this, right, as a concern. It seems crazy, right? It seems amazing. What we think now, it seems so self-evident, and yet, just a few, in some cases, decades ago, but let's say centuries even, things were very different. What people believed. So, but let's be clear, it wasn't everyone that believed that, right? There were people who still were holding on to these what we might consider yogic principles. Um, so it's understandable, right? It's not incomprehensible, but we are moving in the other direction, and that's what to keep that in mind. That what may seem commonplace now, in 50 years, 100 years, 200 years, might seem crazy and barbaric. I hope. I hope. I hope we will be even kinder, even more following of our yamas in the future. Um, what a great place that would be. As you're ready, moving a little, fingers and toes, hands and feet, making your way up to a seat. Let's bring hands together for a breath in and a breath out. Thank you for taking some time today for your yoga and for sharing your practice with me. I hope that you have a very good Saturday and Sunday and just a very nice rest of the weekend. Namaste. Thank you for joining me today. I think this whole week I have been skipping meditation, um, and encouraging you to do it on your own. So, in keeping with that theme, I'm going to do that again today. Not that I don't want to do meditation, but we're going to see how it goes. And then we're going to check on Monday. Let me know how it went. Um, did you get it done? Uh, I'll bet you did. Right? It's 5 minutes. How could you not? But maybe not, and that's important to know too. That is hard for you to set that time aside. So let's try it again. In fact, I will challenge you to do it today and tomorrow. So give me 5 minutes today and 5 minutes tomorrow, and we'll talk about it on Monday. Okay. Enjoy. Stay cool, but enjoy the weather. And I'll see you Monday.